good morning, everybody. We are on the campus of Albright Middle School here in Houston, Texas, and we're preparing for the annual Career Day. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, P. Koffe Brown, here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. So excited to be in the building with you guys tonight. We are getting ready to have a absolutely dope show on tonight. So I am so excited to be in the building with you guys. Welcome, and welcome. So obviously my virtual background does not want to be good to me tonight. So no worries. We're going to get rid of that so we can keep it moving real quick, fast, and in a hurry. We know how to make adjustments up in here. So anywho, we're going to have a great show tonight. Taylor is on his way into the show. He'll be here in just a little bit. But while we wait on Taylor, we're going to be talking about something very interesting. So there is this viral reel that's going around on TikTok. People send me content all the time for the show and things like that. And so a lot of times we will discuss certain topics that are happening around the world and all this. And since this is a relationship platform, we like to bring some things to light that may not necessarily be in the forefront of our minds. But there was this guy who kind of incited a lot of conversation on all social media platforms after he went public talking about his 7 children and his 7 children's mamas. Okay. This boy got 7 children and 7 children's mothers. So he went public and talked about his situation with his 7 children and his 7 baby mamas. So we have the clip ready for you guys to actually listen to. And we're going to try to unpack this tonight because this was really, really wild. And it was really kind of crazy when everybody kind of heard about it, and it incited a lot of conversation. So we're gonna play it for you guys so you can really kind of hear what this guy was saying, and then we're gonna work on unpacking this. So Taylor and I are gonna be talking about this tonight. So my co-host is in the building. What up, T?
What's going on? I am ready for this conversation.
Listen, this is about to be super interesting on the real, because this is some foolishness. So y'all take a listen to this and we're going to unpack this.
7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live, telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied, because I don't really know why you're trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about it. You're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that's going to have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with because you're going to be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I didn't told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump offs. These the type of women that I ain't even had to do nothing for. The bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body, and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them? Like, I don't even have no type of love for these women. How do they expect me to love these children? Before y'all say, oh, he irresponsible, he a deadbeat, he don't take accountability. Yeah, I do. I just don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna force these children on me when I told you I ain't want them. Yeah, I can offer to pay for abortion, but at what point can I force a woman to go get an abortion? I cannot. A woman say, my body, my choice, but I say, it's my life, my choice. Before y'all try to stitch this shit and be like, black man this, black man that, I don't give a fuck. I really don't.
Whew. Taylor, listen here. When I heard, first of all, let me say this. When I first heard this guy spit this, the first thing that came to my mind was, as one day his children are going to see this. That's what I was thinking about, right? When they see this, they're not only going to be repulsed by him, but they're going to totally feel rejected. And I mean, it's going to be a big mess. Then their mothers will have to deal with the fact that they chose to still sleep with this man. It's going to be a whole, forget about the current tense. When the children get a hold of this is going to be a big old mess in the future. Because this guy is not even considering the fact that the kids are going to see it, let alone forget about the baby mamas and him. That's grown up foolishness. But this thing has gone viral. This video is never going away. It's out there now. It's no way to get it back. And I'm like, dude, don't you realize now that you done went public, you're going to be found? So you talking about they can't find you. Yes, they can. Kind sir. Somebody going to find you. This is the craziest thing. I don't think I've ever seen anything more disrespectful. Not even to the women, but he's disrespectful to himself. Like, you don't even care about yourself because you're penetrating these women, and you only got, this is 7 that you know about. This is the 7 that you know about, but you're having intercourse with all these different women, putting yourself at risk of death. Forget the rest of the stuff. You're risking killing yourself for a sexual encounter. Then you have the audacity to say that these women are jump offs. No, you to jump off. You a jump off too. They can't be a jump off by themselves. So it's like he has no honor, no respect, no code, no moral stance, no nothing. And it's just like, I was just like, wow. But you know what really got me concerned is if a guy tells a woman this up front, why are we still sharing our body with this animal? He's an animal. Why? What woman would share her body with a guy like this if he's being honest, if he literally said this stuff up front? What does it say about the women that had intercourse with this guy anyway? He talking about abortions and taking a morning after pill. You talking about killing kids as a means of birth control because you don't want to take your friend out. Taylor, what did you think when you saw this?
I think personally, when people have that kind of language, you could tell he's enraged because of probably the backlash that he received. But usually when a person is at that level of anger, it's almost no return. And not saying that he can't change later down the line,
Right.
and look at the video and say, wow, I don't know who was that person. But the trend, I don't know if you hear this a lot, but I want you to have my baby, I want you to have my baby. There's guys that's out there that's like that. He's just to the extreme to say, hey, I'm telling you up front. He mentioned that these women are jump offs, but you're dealing with women that are um living on the edge just like he is.
Hmm.
Then you're dealing with women um that use that for financial gain to have the
Right.
baby. So it depends on the amount of women that he's dealing with. You're getting a plethora, I like that word, of women that is their intentions is all sorts, right? The ones that don't care, they're just living in the moment. So yeah, so if he says I don't want a child, cool, no problem, I'll just take the risk. And then you have the women that are taking a plan B. There are women that are getting the abortion, and then there's women that want to keep it because they know that they're going to get money from the government, and they don't care, and maybe they like him and there's a possibility that he will stay, right? So who knows what's going on in these women's mind. But as far as him, that anger, and I don't care attitude, you can tell that he is not going to stop, and he's going to continue until he gets tired.
Or somebody, or something happens to him, or somebody harms him. Because like at this point, if anybody talk to him now, they got to be cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, like for real. Because this dude is literally telling everybody in the whole wide world. He was like, I've been going live telling my story.
Yeah,
Everything not for alive.
100%. But the thing is that the society that we live in, there will be women that still talk to him. A matter of fact, there'll be probably more women attracted to that because he is viral, because he might get you know um contacted by different platforms to come on their program to talk, because they want, because for for people that are reporters or people that are influencers, that's a viral story, right?
Yeah.
That's like a cha-ching, right? Because you're going to get a lot of viewers. So to have him on the story, and then you have even people that's in prison. We hear the story all the time, right?
Mhm.
People that's in prison, there's women that flock some of those guys. Remember that guy with all the tattoo on his face, light skin, hazel eyes?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
They were women that were flocking him, and to his I guess progression and success. He came out, he became a model, what have
Right,
you, he had gotten
right.
married, have kids, and what have you. So this guy, fame, is gonna draw more attention, which is that's even more crazy and sick. But for the women that go after this guy, like I said, we live in a society now is that you know what no matter how you're famous, there's people that's gonna like you, gonna admire you, that want to be with you, because of your popularity, and it's a shame. But like I said, we're living in a time where people are living on the edge. They don't care, they're living for now. COVID happened, all kinds of things is going on, and they just want to have fun.
Let me tell you something. So there was a lot of commentary behind it when I sent it, when I posted it. So we're gonna go through some of these comments and unpack this, because this is something that we need to be aware of. This guy didn't just wake up and start this behavior today. There's been a series of events that in his life that led up to this type of repulsive behavior. Okay. This isn't something that he just thought about doing. This is something that he's been doing for a very long time. And this is something that we need to be aware of, even, not necessarily totally as women, but as human beings, that there are people out here who are doing things that are causing all kind of psychological issues in the lives of innocent individuals, which are the babies, which are the children. I mean, I could imagine sitting in a class with my peers and watching that video and not even realizing that that's my doggone daddy. My mama don't know my daddy. But that sound like the guy, possibly that might be the guy that my mom, I'm gonna take this video home and see my mom. If this the guy that she had me by, and then somehow, some way, it's gonna be several children that put the pieces together, the puzzle pieces together, to identify that that's their father. They're gonna put them puzzle pieces together. Somebody gonna spill the beans. It's gonna be somebody in the family, some kind of friend. They're gonna spill those beans about this particular guy. It's not gonna go undetected by these children.
No, 100%. But you know what? And I have to be the person on the other fence. You know how many daughters that praise their father that there was a Rolling Stone back in the day? That is pathetic.
I mean, well, here's the deal. You're right about that. The way that things were depicted back then is not the way it's depicted now, because even though you're right, they did praise their dads for being role. Yeah, my daddy was a Rolling Stone, and they didn't see any
Any
negative thing to it. However, if they were fast forward in our day and age, this would be repulsive. It would not be something to be celebrated. And those same daughters who were hyping Pops up, this right, if they had have heard Pops say this, they wouldn't be as excited. I'm certain about that. Because
but you
we didn't hear the conversations. You know what I mean? We didn't hear that part. It wasn't public awareness. It wasn't public information to hear the conversation surrounding that specific behavior. Oh, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, I heard about Papa. However, I don't have any proof about Papa doing something. I just got a bunch of hearsay. This is evidence and proof that is never going away. This is going to be around for as long as the earth remains. This kind of stuff is, and for him to do that, to physically sit down, show his face, I'm like, if that was my son, I would be beyond embarrassed and shame. And not necessarily for me as the parent, if I know I raised my child, right? I would be saddened at the fact that the information that I imputed in my child, they chose not to apply it. And now they're out here causing problems in society because they chose to take this crazy path. And this is just, it's repulsive at best, and it's so unfortunate on both sides of the coin. It's both accountability and both responsibility. And he said something interesting when he made that comment. He said, oh, well, women need to make better choices with who they sleep with. What you mean? What you huh what you mean? He's making it seem like he was so accountable up front. That don't make, but it this is not something that we can prove his accountability. He's making it seem as though he's this really accountable kind of guy, and I'm just telling you this up front. So you're making your own decision up front. Everything that happens, it's all up front. You knew all of this stuff up front. I don't think that's the case. I think he's doing this to make himself look as though he was accountable. He gave all the detailed specifications. He gave all the information before the women made those choices to be with. That does not even sound right. That so all these people that you're talking about involved in this scenario, you told all of them that, and every last one of them agreed to it. I can't buy that.
I think the only difference with this situation and other situations where the person in the relationship or the meat, let's just call it that,
Mhm.
is upfront to say, hey, look, I don't only want sex. I think the only difference is that a life is involved, right?
Right.
I think
It's
if
different. It's different if I'm just sleeping with somebody and there's no lives that involved between you and I making this choice. You're right. That's nobody would know then.
No, and I think the only thing is the transmitted disease, because maybe no one will divulge if they've been tested. 'Cause remember, they're doing unprotected sex, right? So then
Right.
that would be the conversation saying that, hey, you gave me this, right?
Right.
Um,
Right. It would be a different type of conversation. And that's not something that people are going to be. You still don't find people having a whole bunch of public conversations about them having a dis-ease as a result of not, of being risque with somebody when it came to their sexuality. People not running around saying, "Hey, I got HIV, I got chlamydia and herpes and all that." It's not like they're going around, because there's a level of shame attached to actually contracting a disease. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of shame attached to it. So it's not like people running around saying, "You know what? I got all this stuff because I was sleeping with Sally and I'm just proud of it. I got all these diseases." No, people are ashamed about that kind of stuff. They're not making a whole, you ain't gonna find a bunch of reels on social media about somebody out here having disease and they're just excited to have a conversation about it. That's a no.
Yeah, it's to us this is shocking. And I'm gonna say this: the time that we're living in, Coffee, is that hmm, the like I said, the difference is he's terminating the pregnancy, right? And he's paying for the termination of pregnancy. But because there's people now, the trend is now is to get as many women as possible pregnant, i.e., some of these celebrities, because they have the money to support it. I think that for for the other half of the people that don't have the money to support it,
Hmm.
they want to terminate it. And so and not only terminate it, if you don't terminate it, then it's on you.
Hmm.
um and I think that this is, yeah, this is another level, but it's still out there. There is hundreds, maybe thousands of men that have unprotected sex with women,
Hmm.
that ejaculate in women, and have the money to give them to get an abortion if they get pregnant. There's men that have the money set aside for women, that if you get i.e., this guy, because he said he has paid for abortions.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's multiple. I don't think it's just one. That he's just on a rampage to say, "Hey, I'm going to have sex with you. This is what it is. And if you get pregnant, I have the money for the abortion. And if you decide to keep it, that's on you." And like I said, when you hear other stories that's out there with all, and I'm just using rappers, I'm sure there's other people, but I just want to use that industry, is that you have these rappers that is having sex with all these women.
Hmm.
But the only difference in this case is that if you keep it, I have the amount of money to support it, so it's cool. Whatever. I can have few, we can name a list. Future, Nick Cannon, like we could just name the ones that
Yeah,
are doing
but
it.
but the thing of that, I mean, we can say that. I don't know about the future situation with Nick Cannon. He's intentional with procreating all these tiny humans and
100.
paying for it. So it's, I don't think we can use that as a I get what you're saying. However, this particular guy, in
Mhm.
comparison to them, he's literally running away. He said, "Y'all can't find me." He's running away. Those individuals are not running away, and they know they're going to experience public scrutiny in
100.
regards to their behavior. This guy is, not only is he not accountable, he's a coward, because now you're saying, "Oh, you know what? I told you not to have the baby. So now not only am I not going to be responsible for my part in it and your decision to keep that child, I'm going to hide so you can't find me." He said, "You can't make me take care of no baby. You can't make me be financially responsible." Yeah, they can make you, because if somebody shows up at your doorstep with with serve you with papers, guess what? You're gonna be responsible. You're gonna be sitting up in jail. So they can make you. And
100%.
he's making it seem like, he's gonna be able to fly under this radar when you just went public.
Yeah, he's,
People know you.
yeah. He's
You know
not.
what I'm saying? You're not even doing it to a point where you're hiding your identity. You are all out idiot, because now somebody gonna find you.
No, 100%. And the law will catch up with him eventually.
Absolutely. Or somebody daddy
Or
who didn't realize that he was because a girl, just think about it. If somebody's father knows that this is the girl, their daughter had the baby by this dude, right? And the daughter has a totally different story than what he's stating. Somebody daddy gonna be on their way to that boy to go find him. Because somebody gonna want to vindicate their daughter after they see something like this. Because there's not gonna be a lot of women who going to admit, Taylor, and say, "Oh yeah, I agreed to this." You know, a bunch of females is not gonna say that they agreed to this.
100%. No, 100%. Yeah, and he has 7, right? 7 and
He has
counting.
7 that he knows about.
Yeah,
7 that he knows about because evidently he was in contact with their moms long enough to know that they delivered children by him. So he had some kind of contact with them to know that element of it. However, from that point, once he found out that they made a decision to keep those children, he just went ghost. Like, oh, I'm just no longer available at this point because you decided to have a baby. And it's really sad because it once somebody made a comment that said this is not the reality of all of our men. This is not how our community of men actually think. This is one individual who, first of all, he got some mental defects because something's wrong with your mind, seriously, coupled with some other things. So he's not a reflection of our community at large. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, 100%. But I have to go back to these younger kids that are approaching women saying that I want you to have my baby. Like it's starting young, and and it's cute. Well, they think it's cute. They think that yeah. Hey, I want you to have my baby. They don't know this woman from Adam. They see something that is pretty and they want to impregnate her. Like
Mhm.
I hear this all the time. And if this is, here you have a guy, I mean, granted, he don't want to take care of his responsibility, just like you said, because there's other instances what they do have a large amount of children, but they're accountable, and that's a whole nother sickness, right? Because now
Right.
they're accountable. The one guy had 27 kids or something like that, I remember. um
Yeah, it was
but
20 something kids.
and he was accountable, but this guy, yeah, is running away. And like I said, once the law catches up with him, how whatever the punishment is, then that's the punishment. But he's not forcing these women to terminate the pregnancy. He's not. He's just saying,
Well,
hey,
he's offering to pay for it. He
here's
said
the
that if they conceive that he'll pay for them to kill the child.
yep.
So it's like, dude, you just got all kind of weird stuff going on. I mean, it's like, to me, he's dangerous, in my opinion. He's dangerous because I'm like, first of all, you telling me to kill somebody. First. Secondly, you good with being, running away from responsibility. You got a whole lot of stuff going on in this one particular individual. And it's like, I just cannot buy that he sat down and told all these women this story and told all these women this scenario, and then everybody agreed to it. It
Now,
just sounds so bizarre to me. You know what
I
I'm saying?
well, it depends. And the reason why I say it depends,
It
because
could be true. It could
because
be very true.
there are people that have told people up front. I've heard this up front. Guys have said this all the time up front, that hey, I don't want no children. I don't want no children. Now he might have went into detail like, yo, I don't want no children. I ain't taking no children. And I think that it wouldn't be a hard no unless that woman wants kids.
Hmm.
But it wouldn't be a hard no. Okay, cool. You don't want no kids, whatever. Now they're having sex, right? Maybe some of these women don't know that he wasn't using protection. You're in the moment, right? And if they're a jump off, you're in the moment. So I think that more than what we think, more than what we think,
Hmm.
would hear that conversation and be like, okay, cool. You don't want no kids. I don't want no kids either.
Hmm.
In the moment they're having sex. In the moment he didn't pull out. Some of
Because
them,
he said that clearly. He was
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna pull out. Why should I pull out? So it's like you're intentionally, first of all, you're double talking at that point. You're intentionally attempting to get somebody pregnant. If you're not pulling out, you're being intentional.
100%.
You're not making no sense. You double talking. I don't want no kids, but I don't want to stop putting semen in people, which I know causes kids.
And then I think, and we have to assume, that if these women know that, and if they go into it unprotected, and he didn't pull out, yeah, they're going to get pregnant if they're able to have kids, right?
Right.
So you have to look at it from two angles. Yes, this guy is out of control. There's no argument about it. I'm not defending him by any means, right? um but then these women are allowing it.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah,
they're
I
allowed.
mean, they can't, I mean, he can't do what he doing without a body to do it with. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword because, it's it however, it doesn't really add up. It still doesn't add up that, you're saying this, you're saying that you said that, you're saying that, but you're still intentionally putting semen in somebody. Then you turn around and tell that person, don't keep the child that I put inside you. I just put this baby in you. Now don't keep it. It's like, and I'm wondering if he's dealing with individuals that he can kind of take advantage of. Because I don't think a fully competent woman, a fully competent, conscious
Yeah.
woman, a fully engaged, just out of common sense, not even, you ain't even got to read real smart or nothing like that. For somebody to say something like that to you beforehand, and then you still agree to it, there's a lot going on in that mental space. It's gotta be, for me to sit here as a female to feel comfortable to be intimate with that.
Well, even I try to picture myself, which I know I can't, but just let's go here real quick. I try to picture myself as a woman that, say I'm malicious. Okay, so say, yeah, I want to have a baby because I want to get the benefits from having a baby, and I want to get the money that this guy is going to pay to support the baby. I still cannot put myself in that even thought process to have a child by somebody with ill will intentions to create revenue with a baby that I don't even want, number one. Well, maybe I do want it for the money, but number two, with a guy that I don't even want to have nothing to do with. I just don't understand even that thought process. Why would I keep a child from a guy that is just maybe worthless, maybe irresponsible, what have you? And every time I look at this baby, although I'm getting paid, I still got to deal with this child. Not saying kids are bad or anything like that. I'm just saying the child who I conceived from this individual just for revenue. I don't know how some people can deal with that. I would not be able to do that. Granted, that's why I'm not a woman.
And that part in itself, that the integrity piece is what you're talking
Yeah.
about. That there's no character or integrity in any of this scenario. And Lisa made a good comment. She was basically saying, the guy is just talking about the fact that this is, they allowing him to do this. That's all he really saying.
And
He's
and
basically saying, in a nutshell, y'all allowing me to do this, so this is what I do because y'all allow me to do it. Now, if y'all didn't allow me to do this, and there's no way I could do it. I can't do anything that you are not allowing me to do. And obviously, y'all been allowing me to do it for a long time because it's 7 people that actually survived and lived, and gonna have to be able to talk about it later on. The fact that I'm their daddy.
and this is a great point. You know how some people are so naive,
Hmm.
so oblivious to, oh, that's not going on. Women don't allow, they do, just like guys allow, because it's happening. It is happening. When it comes to relationships, It is happening. Or even not a relation. How could you allow, oh, I don't believe that's happening. It is. And guess what? This guy went viral because it is happening. Poly relationships, it is happening. Jump offs, it is happening. Sneaky links, it is happening. These things are happening. And the only reason why we're like, oh my God, is because it went viral. That doesn't mean it's happening. Your neighbor next door, that doesn't mean the dude down the street ain't doing the same thing that this guy's doing. And it takes two. It
To
takes two.
tango.
But
Yeah.
it's
And you know what? That listen, it's like my mama used to say when we were younger, it's the truth anyhow. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's the truth anyhow.
he got 7.
I would love to find one of the moms and have a conversation with her to see, her side of the story. If the woman were to say to me, if this female were to say to me, yes, Coffee, I had a conversation with him prior and I still had sex with him and I wasn't willing to kill my child. I don't need nothing from him, whatever, dot, 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 fizz. Yes, it was my decision. I was conscious. I wasn't drunk when it happened. This wasn't anything like a date rape type of scenario. It wasn't any roofies in my drink or nothing like that. I literally said yes to this. And it was my choice and my decision. And this is what I decided. I would just look at her and say, I am a coach, a certified master life coach, and I'll give you some free coaching because you need a coach. Because you can't keep doing this, ma'am. This is dangerous. It's not healthy. It's not health, and to think about the fact that if every single person did agree to this behavior with him, then we in some serious trouble. Because what are they going to impute into those children? They got to teach the children something.
Well, I mean, those kids are coming from, a lifestyle. I say family, not even family, a lifestyle that, like I said, the mother is living on the edge. She's living for now, and the kids are just wrapped up in that environment. It's no different than living in, I'm not picking on the projects, but I'm just saying, just living in the projects and living in survival mode, right? And so your mom was in survival mode, your dad was in survival mode. You see your dad, trying to take care of the family, doing drugs, whatever, got mixed up in some stuff, and that's just their life. That's their environment. This guy is doing what he's doing. These women are allowing it, and they're having kids. You're right. I would like to have a talk with them also. I want to hear that conversation because I want to see what's their lifestyle. Is it only one child they have? Maybe they have 10, maybe they have different baby daddies. Like, we don't know from these, from these women. So it could be a pattern, you
It
know.
could it could very well be, and it could be that he is looking at a certain class of women, like
100%.
within this class, like he basically has the same spirit in a different body. I'm just
Yeah.
going to a different body. It's the same exact thing, different body, because he did make the comment that these are jump offs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, that term can go in a lot of different ways when somebody says jump off. And it's like, dude, are you saying that these are prostitutes? I'm trying to understand. Are you calling them whores, prostitutes? What are you really saying? Are these just not, these are women that you pay them to sleep with you? To tell me more. Because when he says jump off, I want to know in detail, what do you mean by jump off? What are
Yeah.
you saying when you call them a jump off? First of all, you know, I'm sure you didn't use that term when you were talking to them about this little dissertation that you alleged that y'all had. It's all alleged stuff, because again, he's not owning any level of responsibility for anything. Because of that, I cannot buy that he told them all this stuff up front. I cannot buy it. If the video were when he came out in that video and he said, I didn't want these kids by these women, da, 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 da. Now they got me on child support. They got me out here paying all this money. I can't even keep my head up because every time I turn around, I got a child support payment and da, 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 the law done got at me and da, 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 right? I would find him more believable than right now with him not being accountable or responsible. So you're deceptive. So I can't believe what you're saying because you're a liar. You're deceptive. You're hiding. So I'm not going to be able to believe that you sat down with, or you was in the bed with all these different women and told them all this stuff. If you turn around and go hide, I don't believe it.
Well,
Something is not true in this. You know what I'm saying? Something about this is not the truth.
yeah, I mean, first of all, w- like I said, I'm not covering for him, but why would you come on social media and post that anyway? You're a dummy. They're
That's my whole point. You
you're
see
gonna
what I'm saying? Like he's basically now you're what is your intent behind sharing this information?
yeah.
What's your intent behind sharing it? What's your point? You're not making any sense now. First, you say you don't want the responsibility, but you go on a social media platform knowing that somebody's going to gain access to this information, and you already know that somebody is going to be repulsed and offended by it, and they're going to share it with other people, and it's going to keep being shared. It's going to go viral. So if you didn't intend to be responsible for these 900 babies that you allege that you didn't want to have, then why in the world would you go on a social media platform where you know it's going to be picked up and somebody going to run with it? It's going to go right down to the county sheriff's office.
He's
And they're going to come right to your house and come say, hey, here's your paperwork, sir, kind sir. And if you don't show up for court, you're going to jail. Now you didn't put your whole stuff. If you didn't really want to be responsible, you made a big old bad decision now, sir, kind sir.
100%. I just think it's the most stupidest. But people, it's so funny because when people do certain activities,
Hmm.
they can't help it. It's no different than somebody that's a criminal. They can't help it. They usually go back to the scene, right? When I was
Right.
on
Either back to the scene, or if they don't get caught, they're going to attempt the same crime twice, at
uh,
least.
100%, or they're gonna talk about it because they're gonna brag,
Right.
and
They're gonna
so
tell somebody that, yeah, I stole or I did this or I did that.
abs-
My concern about him is the bigger picture is that there is some stuff going on with him to where he can really be harmed behind this. He can really be harmed behind this because somebody is looking at that and they're getting extremely angry.
hmm, yeah,
But it's so this whole situation that this guy is expressing, um, it's it's very, very scary with him being as reckless as he is. You've been with all these different females, and those females are going elsewhere and being with somebody else and taking a part, and without getting too deep and spiritual, taking that energy
yep,
that they got from you and they're passing it on to other souls.
yep. And not only that, that energy is in that baby that you decide to. Like I said, I don't promote abortion. For a woman, you
No,
do
I got what you're saying. That energy is being you're constantly transferring this energy,
100%.
and you just constantly and it's a cycle because one of those children, it's a strong probability that they're gonna bring another one of them into the earth.
A hundred
And
percent.
it's gonna keep going. It's not going to stop.
Yep.
And this guy, he's not cognitively processing his own process, if that makes sense. Because it's like if I say I don't, like I somebody said to me a while ago, they said, I don't want any children, right? And I said, what are you doing to make certain that that doesn't manifest, right? And the guy said, "Oh, he said, don't worry. I think I want to say he actually went and got a vasectomy and then he still uses condoms. He was like, I said I don't want no choice. He said I don't have no slip ups, no mishaps. I ain't that deep into no moment. I'm gonna always make certain that I come out the way I went in. If you really don't want children, if you really don't want to procreate, if you really don't want to find yourself in a compromising situation, then like that particular guy that I just mentioned, you're going to do every single precautionary measure to be certain that you don't find yourself in that predicament if that's what you really say you want to happen. There are times where a condom breaks, vasectomy didn't work, so on and so forth. Those occasions are few and far between. Few and far between. It would not be no seven mishaps like this situation with him and these seven. It would not be that way at best. It may have been one that got through, if the guy got a vasectomy, maybe one that got through there and he'd be like, oh my God, I got to go back to the doctor because they ain't do it right or something, but it's not going to be seven kids.
Right. Hey, I got a question for you. Is it possible you could play that again?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to
Let's,
play it again.
yeah, for those that's just joining,
Oh,
we,
they didn't get a chance to hear this juicy stuff, honey. Let's play that thing again, honey. Oh,
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you're trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about it. You're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because I'm not the one that's going to have to carry a baby for 9 months.
now dig this. All this smoke that he talking, when them nice people come and pay that boy a visit and he have to pay this child support ministry, you ain't gotta never see them churn. But them people that law, them law people, and especially you think about it from this perspective, Taylor. He is brown. You think they ain't gonna find you? You're brown.
he's done. He's done. He's
They
done.
really looking for you now. You brown?
You go find. Look, people have to understand this. Okay, I'm
What?
going to be the bearer of bad news. Can I be the bearer of bad news?
Please be the bearer of bad news.
If you're doing anything malicious and you post it on social media, you will. Not you might, not maybe. You will get caught. I used to be in law enforcement. You will get caught. Just like you on social media, law enforcement is on social media.
Baby, and when I tell you somebody is snitching right now, and it ain't even a snitch because you put your own self out there, they went right on down there and said, hey, this is my baby's father, and I've been trying to find him. And you remember what he said? He said some operative words. Oh, they've been looking for me for years.
I know.
Baby, that back child support is finna be ugly, kind sir.
7.
It's about to go down. Your whole boat is getting ready to sink with you inside of it, sir.
7. That mean that he's quit jobs. That mean that he has changed phone numbers.
He has changed phone numbers. He's changed addresses. Let me tell you something. I know somebody like this son of man right here. I know somebody like this. And I remember when he used to be running, when they got that boy, because this was when I was living in Florida. When they caught up to that fool, it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty because, kind sir, even at bare minimum, even if you was earning minimum wage, they gonna get as much butter from your duck as
Yeah.
possible, sir. And he's sitting in a nice car. He not. I looked at the boy teeth, Taylor. The boy teeth ain't jacked up. You know what I'm saying? You sitting in a nice car. You got on a decent sweatshirt, so you're not. You look like you got a couple of coins in the bank.
Yeah.
So, sir, I hate to be the, like you said, the bearer of bad news, but those nice, nice people, they come to find you, kind sir.
And I want to
You're gonna
know
be
what
able to get away with that.
the age limit on to these women. I wonder if they're like maybe 25, 26. They could be
I
young.
don't know. That's a good question because if they real young, you might be up for some statutory rape charges. If they that young and
Absolutely.
they didn't have babies by you, you might have been a master manipulator and been bothering some young, because it is dudes like that who will be dealing with young,
Yeah.
impressionable, very, very young and very impressionable that really don't have the capacity at that, that juncture in their lives to be able to make a well-informed decision based on who they share their bodies with. So if he's doing something like that, this could be a whole big Pandora's box that he didn't put himself in. A big Pandora's box.
100%. And then he's older, right? So we don't know. Like, we don't know
He's
if
not that young. I would presume that he's in his 30s at least.
100%. So they're looking at this guy like, he might got a car, he might got his
He
place.
got a car. He's sitting in the car right now.
Yep. So they're like, oh, he got a car, whatever. He got money, he got a little something, something. He probably take them out. They went party,
Listen.
stuff like that. And then it's like, hey,
Listen, and like I said, there is two people involved as far as the responsibility aspect.
yep. And he admit,
However, if you're manipulating somebody and
yep,
stuff like that, it's a whole bunch of different variables that, of course, are not in this particular video. But I promise you, the follow up to this is going to be real interesting because if somebody does get, and he not going, if he looks at the greed aspect, right, and he goes on somebody's show,
yep.
baby, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It is a wrap, baby. Everybody that got the babies getting ready to get a check.
Oh, trust me, if he goes on Oprah or what's her name? Alanya.
Oh, or even
Oh,
like the Jennifer Hudson, The Voice,
oh,
anything. If he go on anybody's show, the children gonna be all right.
but here's the thing. They're not only gonna have him, but they're gonna have a surprise saying, we caught up with some of the women that you
Right. Because look, this right here would have been perfect for Maury Povich.
100%.
Maury would have been eating this alive. He would have listened, that show would have had 20 million views.
Or Jerry Springer. Look, we caught
Yes.
up 7 of your baby mama.
We
What?
caught up. Look, and matter of fact, you don't even know this, but you got about 5, 6 other children that you weren't aware of with the girls who pay for the abortions.
Oh my,
And listen, the fact that he said, I am willing to pay for abortions, right? The boy can't be broke. Abortions
thank you.
ain't cheap.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. This guy have it's instead of he taking them out on dates and stuff like that, he
He's
has
taking it
the
to the
money.
abortion clinic.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. That's not funny.
Y'all
But
don't mind Taylor. Taylor not, he not really laughing to
no,
laugh, but he like just kind of like trying to process this
it's
because
like,
it's a whole lot to try to
oh
process.
my God. Yeah, this is this I think, like I said, you see the people that are not well in their head that have multiple kids upon multiple kids.
Look, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Taylor. Lisa talking about that could be his next baby mama car. I'm done.
it
I'm not messing with her. I am not messing with Lisa. She's talking about that could be his next baby mama car. And it probably is one of his baby mama cars. But
Yeah.
who paying for all them doggone abortions? Because listening to him, this dude has been down this road for many, many moons.
Yeah. Oh man, this is something else.
Look, when I first look, my one of my girlfriends sent it to me. I was like, she said, "Yeah, this guy said." I was like, "No, he didn't." She said, "Yes, he did." I said, "No, he didn't." She said, "Yes, he did." And I'm like, he said this in public? Like he said it out loud? He said it like for real? She was like, why you so astonished? I was like, because I just can't process in my brain that he would open his mouth and say this out loud. Like he said this out loud. She said, yeah, he said it out loud. And when she sent me the video, I'm telling you, Taylor, I was like sitting there, like initially when I first heard it, I was like sitting there. I said, nah, I know I didn't hear it. I know I didn't really. I know there's no way that I actually heard what I heard. And I kept scratching my head like, I watched it like 8 times. I was like trying to process it. I was like, is he for real serious? Like, is this a so somebody on IG, somebody at IG said, is this a prank or something? And I'm like, it's gotta be some kind of joke. This can't be real. And my other girlfriend was like, she said, I don't think this guy is joking. I think he's serious.
100%. Yeah, he is. And not only that, he is aware of
Very much so.
with the responsibility because he said we're both responsible. So he's owned the responsibility, but he led to say that I don't want to have the responsibility. So it's
Right.
not owning it. He's owning it, but he's saying, but I don't want it.
That's what he's saying. So he it's almost like he's playing some kind of weird Russian roulette game.
Yep.
And it's just like, and I'm looking at him going, everybody upstairs didn't make it upstairs in your head. Everybody is not up there. You missed a few things in that ministry up in your head because this can't be, you can't, a normal, I can't even say it out my mouth, Taylor.
Well,
I can't
yeah,
say it. This
it,
is crazy.
it's just I just don't I you know it's one thing to say, hey, like these women have to know that this guy have sex with multiple women unprotected. I mean the proof is there. Maybe they don't know that he has 7 kids, maybe not, maybe these women don't know, but I'm gonna, for somebody to say, hey, I don't want any kids, but I'm gonna have unprotected sex in to you, and I'm not gonna pull out. That in itself should be alarming. That,
Right.
you know, to say, whoa, so this guy just goes around and ejaculate into women, and when did do you get checked? Like it is just
It's a lot. It's a lot to even contemplate, even listening to him talk.
yeah. This is I just
Yeah. Look, if I ever heard a guy say something to me like that, dude, I would physically
yeah.
run. I would, and I wear heels all the time. I probably would take my shoes off and literally take off running because something is wrong. I wouldn't even want to be around that kind of energy. Like, kind sir, I'm just gonna run in the opposite direction because I don't want to be not. I don't want to be within any kind of feet of you because something gonna be. I don't want to have nothing to do with whatever getting ready to happen to you because that's horrible, absolutely horrible. But the time is up, dude. That hour went by
Quick.
lightning fast. Oh my gosh. Every now and then we talk about current events and what's going on in the world. And this was something that just was like out there. It was like way out there. It was no way we were not going to kind of dialogue about that. But that is our show for tonight. We will be back in the saddle next week, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 Eastern. So we showed you a promotional video when the show first started from A-Leaf Independent School District, where we actually add value to our youth. And a friend of mine, Kevin, he's a videographer right here in Houston area, phenomenal videographer. So I'm going to run it again for you guys to be able to see his work. And if you're interested, please, please, please hit me up so I can get you in contact with him. He does some phenomenal work for all of the major sporting arenas, from the Rockets to the Texans to all of the AAU. He does all kind of stuff for Ronald McDonald House. And so this guy is absolutely spectacular. And I want you guys to be able to see that again as we exit for tonight. DM me to get a hold of Kevin. You're going to love him. Phenomenal guy. He's got an amazing team that works with him as well for events. And if you guys need a phenomenal videographer, then he is your guy. So, Taylor, thank you a million times over from coming to hang out with us tonight. This was a good conversation, and we're going to be back in this saddle next week.
Awesome.
And we're not going to be talking about Toxic Bay, though.
Why not?
No, I can't do it twice. I need some Kool-Aid now. I can't do this. I can't talk about Toxic Bay 2 weeks in a row.
And we haven't even peeled the onion off of this. Like,
no.
This, I think this could go into this could go to the end of the year.
Literally. But we ain't about to do it. So, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in and tapping into this week's edition of The Hot Seat. Enjoy this promo, and we will see you guys next week. Good night, everybody. Hey, good morning, everybody. We are on the campus of Albright Middle School here in Houston, Texas, and we're preparing for the annual Career Day.